What's up, everybody? Welcome in to Between the Uprights. I am here with Joe and Chris. My name is Matt. And just real quick before we get into the NFL's biggest stories of the upcoming season, be sure to subscribe to the channel for us. We are just starting this thing up here at Between the Uprights. We love football. We love the NFL. And if you're seeing this, you probably do too. So if you like what you see, hitting that subscribe button would mean a lot to us. We would greatly appreciate it. And thank you in advance. Now, let's not dilly-dally around here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into these NFL storylines where the league is in a great place. Pretty much every team either has playoff hopes or some young players and a plan for the future. A seemingly great 2024 rookie class looks to have a big impact in year one. Players, coaches, and teams looking to cement their legacies or finally overcome the Super Bowl hurdle. There are some huge new rule changes that could make the league even more entertaining as well, and much, much more. So obviously a ton of fun storylines to choose from, but that's why you watch Between the Uprights, because we're here to tell you which ones are the biggest and most important to watch this upcoming season. Chris, I'm kicking it to you. What do you think your biggest storyline is for this 2024 NFL season?
There's so many. There's so many things going on.
A lot of good ones.
For me personally, I think a lot of people are concerned or interested in what's going to happen with the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. That is my biggest interest going into this year. Um, so we know that, my concern for him is that he is a 40-year-old quarterback coming off a vicious ACL injury that everybody
Mm-hmm.
saw pop through his sock and 4 snaps in to his first game, right? Brutal. Then he goes some miracle route and it heals in a miracle amount of time with whatever procedure he decided to do or not do or whatever he decided to do with that. Um, he didn't play any of the preseason games. He skipped mandatory minicamp to go to a retreat. Again, he's only played 4 actual live snaps with his offense, right? Snaps that matter. And then for me, I do feel like Salah is giving him like I said, like the LeBron James treatment, right? He has full reign over, lets him do whatever he wants, whatever he wishes. Whatever his heart content, whatever he wants to do. Brought in some old veteran players that he probably knew were done, that he had them sign anyway because they're his friends, right? So he has this full reign over the offense, which is absolutely insane. So for me, this season is going to go one or two ways, and I'm very interested to see which way it goes because it is either going to be a epic run for the world to see. It's like something to put on your calendar that we're never going to see again, especially with it potentially being Rodgers, last season. That they're going to win the AFC East division. They're going to go to the AFC Championship, potentially the Super Bowl, and all is right in the world, and all of these dumb decisions that they're allowing this guy to make were all for the greater good. And Salah is now in Super Bowl history forever. Fantastic. Or it's going to be an epic disaster. Kind of like Russell Wilson throwing a pick at the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl when you have Marshawn Lynch waiting to go. Just saying. So that's where I'm at. So my concern is that since he hasn't played any of the games, they are expecting us to believe that he is going to be game ready week 1 going against the San Francisco 49ers defense, who are
Damn.
coming off, by the way, a Super Bowl run, who
Mm.
just came from the Super Bowl, and he's supposed to be ready to go and be in sync with his offense, and he's done nothing of the sort. And you expect us to believe that they're going to go in and win this division. The last time they won this division was 2002. Do you know what was
Oof.
going on in 2002? Harry
No.
Potter and the Chamber of Secrets was the lead, the lead running film. Eminem had just released his "Lose Yourself" video, and Michael
Oh,
Jackson was
man.
getting crucified in the media for dangling his son over a balcony.
Oh,
That's what was
jeez.
going on in 2002. That's how long it has been. And we're supposed to believe that he is the savior, though he has done nothing of the sort, that he is just going to save this entire franchise this year. So my prediction is there's no middle ground. If they don't reach the AFC Championship, it's bust. Salah is gone to be a DC elsewhere, and Rodgers is going to retire and become president of Timbuktu or wherever he runs off to for his retreats. That's where I'm at with that. So it's boom or bust. Either you go to the AFC Championship for a chance at the Super Bowl, or it's nothing. He's gone next year, as is his coach.
I'm gonna build on your last point there as far as the Salah Rodgers relationship, and I'm also gonna tie that into you just talked about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which by the way, crazy coincidence. I just watched all the Harry Potters like 2 weeks ago.
Dude, I
Amazing
watch them every
franchise is
month.
Harry Potter,
I'm
dude.
obsessed.
They're
Obsessed.
incredible movies. I mean, you can't beat Harry Potter, right?
It's Star Wars
Hermione,
with
Harry
more steps,
Potter.
fellas. It's Star Wars with more
No,
steps.
dude, Hermione,
Don't be a
Harry
hater all your
Potter,
life.
and Ron Weasley are like the LeBron, Wade, and
Yes.
Bosch of movies. Like that's the big
You're right.
three
They're
that
the
you want
Han
right
Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker of Harry of
Oh,
Star
Joe,
Wars.
don't
That's
be
what
a
they
hater
are.
all your
No.
life, man.
I like Star Wars too, but Harry,
It's
Hermione,
the
and
same
Ron,
story, bro.
they're just built different.
It's the most
They're just
blatant
built
form
different,
of
dog.
plagiarism I've ever seen.
It's just not. But listen, so I'm gonna relate what you were talking about with the Salah Rodgers relationship back to the Chamber of Secrets. It feels like Rodgers has Salah locked in that tiny under the basement room that Harry was locked in all the time, and all the decisions are being made by Aaron Rodgers, so it's like it's an insane kind of dichotomy that's going on right now with the Jets and their entire organization, because they have just so much going on. There's always some drama coming from the Jets now, and it seems like wherever Aaron Rodgers goes, there goes drama too, So it's a very, very interesting situation, and I love that pick for a storyline, Chris. But Joe, I'll kick it to you, man. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets for this upcoming season?
I mean, we've seen this story before, right? Like Packers quarterback leaves, joins the Jets, has mediocre time there, leaves to go to the Vikings, takes them to the NFC Championship game. We're 2/3 of the way through that storyline. So, I mean, and the Vikings are having a quarterback question right now because the rookie quarterback just tore his meniscus and stuff. So this all looks to play that way a little bit, like we could see Aaron Rodgers at 2025 in a fucking Vikings jersey come September. So, like, let's not pretend that this isn't what we kind of expected. This is literally just history repeating itself. This is Brett Favre 2.0. I mean, they literally were pretty much the same quarterback. They won one Super Bowl, did fuck all after that, and then they go to the Jets. So, like I said, 2/3 of the way there. Now, they have the roster. It's all going to come down to Aaron Rodgers. And it's funny that, he shows up and is there for, as Chris said, he comes and does for the OTAs, right? Organized team activities, which are not mandatory, then misses mandatory, the fucking word, man, mandatory minicamp. Go have a self-centering mind retreat, or whatever the fuck he does, because I'm not rich enough to have whatever the fuck that is. And then comes back and they're like, yeah, it's raining.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
You don't play in a fucking dome, bro. It's going to rain. It's New Jersey in the fall. It rains like all the time. And then if it's not raining, it's fucking snowing. And let's be fair, that field claims freaking soft tissue like it's going out of style, whether it's wet, dry, hot, cold, does not matter. You're putting him out on a field that is literally known to snatch people's tendons and ligaments from the waist down all the time. And we're supposed to be confident? Like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's weird. I'm wearing all Patriot stuff right now, talking shit about the Jets. It's almost like it's in my blood to do so. But this is legitimate concern. Like, Jets, I'm not the only one saying this. Jets fans are just as freaked out about this as I. They may not say it out loud, but in the comfort of their homes with their fellow Jets fans, they're going, yeah, man, I'm concerned. Because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. He hasn't tested it in an actual game one time. And I get it. Where would you rather have him blow it out again? Week 1 or in the preseason? I mean, personally, I'd rather the preseason because then I can go, oh shit, I got to pivot. He does it week 1, like, you're just like, well. And, and I'm not wishing injury on the guy. I wanted him to stay healthy. This is a Jets fan's fever dream. You have a MVP, all-pro, Super Bowl winning caliber quarterback who still has the arm talent, still has the capability. You've gotten him a slew of wide receivers. Garrett Wilson's there. They got Malachi Corley in the draft, who I think is going to be very, very gadget for them. They have Breece Hall in the backfield, who I think is going to be very, very good for them. The offensive line looks like it's coming around, and the defense is good. They won 7 games last year with Zach Wilson. Okay, so I'm not concerned about 90% of this roster. performing. The only person that this all falls on is Aaron Rodgers. And I've always questioned his dedication to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's always doing these things. He's always missing these mandatory events. He's doing these wacky podcasts, saying these weird ass things. And honestly, he is the closest thing we've seen to post CTE Antonio Brown. From just the shit he does and says, man. Like, I would, like, legitimately, it would, like, I would laugh my ass off halfway through the game. Him and his offensive coordinator gets into it. He rips his pads off, throws his jersey into the stands, and runs off topless, waving to an end zone, bro. Going like that. It would just cap off a perfect exit if that happened. Once again, now that's the Patriots side of me. That's the Patriots fan of me wanting that. But yeah, like this is a big deal. Because if you haven't seen it, so you have no idea, like his week 1 for the Jets will be the most watched football game of week 1, if not the football season, because everybody is going to be waiting to see whether or not Aaron Rodgers collapses on the field again, because we don't know how healthy he is. Half the videos we've seen of the offseason of him with his shoe off, rubbing his ankle. The surgery he did to fix it was experimental and something that really hasn't been done in an athlete before. So everything, and then not seeing him play, not seeing him in a live game, getting contact, and then them holding him off the field when it rains. If you're a Jets fan and you're not worried, you're lying to yourself. Which, granted, you're a Jets fan, so you're used to these, like, delusions and stuff.
Used to lying to yourself.
Yeah, you're used to lying to yourself, which is not a good thing. Get past that. The first thing is to accept you have a problem, people. But yeah, it's a big deal. This is probably the biggest storyline, because I think CBS put out their rankings. They picked the Jets to win the Super Bowl this year.
Oh,
It's not happening.
Right? Like they have picked them. There are people who have picked them to win the division, which I think is a possibility. There are people who have picked them to win the AFC, and there are people who have picked them to win the Super Bowl. And it all rides on the Achilles of Aaron Rodgers.
So, like, the only thing I'll say... Oh, go ahead.
No, go, Chris, go.
Also, since like the only thing I feel like when you start talking about like them winning the division and whatnot, the only thing I feel like it is really saving them in particular, especially with his lack of participating in preseason games, is their schedule. That's the only thing I looked at where I was like, you know what? Outside of like the 49ers, and then they sprinkle in a game with like the Texans, and then they have the Bills early on in the season, the last half, like the last 5 or 6 games are brutal for them. But the rest of that season, if he's healthy, it's not that bad. They have 3, I think their last 5 games, they have 3 division games. They have 2 with the Dolphins, 1 with the Bills at the end of the season. And then they also have, if I remember correctly, who are they going against? They have the Rams and the Jags at the end of the season, who are also supposed to be in playoff contention. So if they can get through and win most of their early games, even if they bottom out with these stronger teams towards the end, that's where that division is going to be won with those games. Because I guarantee you it's going to be between the Dolphins and the Jets if Aaron Rodgers is healthy. So that for me is the only thing that is saving them is their schedule. But I just, like you said, the commitment to the game I think should be everybody's concern, because he's not. And yes, I'm a Patriots fan as well. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not a Peyton Manning. He's not a Dan Marino. Right? He's not these guys who they only cared about winning. That was their entire goal. They cared about winning. I don't remember ever hearing Tom Brady not showing up to training camp ever. Did you hear that about Peyton Manning? Never. Even Eli Manning, who I can't stand, right? You didn't hear these things about them, but I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers' main concern is winning. Aaron Rodgers' main concern is Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. And listen, to your point about the schedule, Chris, I'm looking at the schedule right now too. After the Niners, it's Titans, Pats, Broncos, Vikings. So those are 4. They could easily be 4-1 by the time we start week 5, But I think the NFL. They should be 4-1. I think the NFL looked at every single opponent for the Jets when they were making the schedule and were like, "Did you lose me again? This fucking thing, I'm gonna fuck somebody up." Can you hear me now?
We lost your video and your microphone.
Can y'all hear me? I'm about to fuck somebody up right now.
Can hear you, can't see you though.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Can you hear? Can you see me now?
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay, I'll restart that. Wait, what's the last thing that I said?
Just start from you were looking at the schedule.
Okay.
It'll be easy for me to cut it in.
Sure. To your point, Chris, I was looking at the schedule, and after the Niners, their next 4 games are Titans, Patriots, Broncos, Vikings. So they should easily be 4-1 after week 5. But I think the NFL looked at the Jets schedule and their opponents, preseason, while they were making the schedule, and was like, hey, let's put their hardest game of the entire season, the one that's going to be on Monday Night Football, the one that literally everybody is going to be watching, week 1. Let's see how it works out. And like you guys mentioned, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been playing all preseason, and he's barely been showing up to minicamp and stuff like that. So, and like you guys talked about, this guy's had so many distractions in his life, just in general. Like the guy was thinking about running for vice president, so it's like all your priorities are in a very strange position for someone who, was in darkness for 4 days and then came out and said, I wanted to be the Jets quarterback, so he's a very, very interesting athlete. I've seen people compare NBA, NFL comparison. I've seen a lot of Kevin Durant, Aaron Rodgers comparisons lately. And I think that's a pretty good comp because KD and Aaron Rodgers are both super talented, but they don't have a lot of rings. And it's like, why don't they have a lot of rings? And then you're like, well, they're both just kind of weird. They're both just kind of out there, and they seem like they have other interests and stuff like that kind of take their eyes away from the playing surface to a certain extent. But with that being said, both of those athletes are all-time great without like focusing on the game of like really, really, obviously they focus on the game, but not like to the extent that, some of the greatest players ever do, which is kind of a testament to their greatness as well. Like they're kind of got all these other hands on these other hats and they're still great. But yeah, to your guys' point, as a wise man once said, maybe it was Einstein, I don't know who said it, never trust the Jets. Like don't trust the Jets. I'm not gonna, there's not a single part of me that trusts anything about the Jets ever. Like you mentioned, Chris, it was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Lose Yourself the last time these guys won the division. Right. So it's hard for me to really, really trust in them, but I did like a lot of their moves this offseason. They went and got Tyron Smith. I like that move. They went and got Morgan Moses as well. John Simpson in the offensive line as well. I like their draft a lot. I thought they were going to potentially take Brock Bowers with that 10th overall pick. They went and got Olu Fashanu, who I think, again, they solidified that offensive line, which was the other big question mark outside of Aaron Rodgers that they had coming into this year was that offensive line. They solidified it. Like Joe mentioned, Malachi Corley, I like him a lot. Me and Joe had the privilege of actually getting to interview Malachi Corley. He seems like a really, really good kid, really, really talented. He's going to fit in really, really well with the Jets. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is doing a lot for him as far as a football player goes. I like Braylon Allen as well. He's going to be a really solid backup running back. He's an absolute monster, and he's only like 20 years old. The kid is a stud. So I loved a lot of what they did this offseason. The problem is, if the guy isn't bought in, and if you have problems, like I mentioned earlier with Herbert and Harbaugh, if you have problems with your coach and your quarterback, which is what we saw before the train, like after day 1 of training camp when Rodgers wasn't there and Saleh's like, oh, it was an unexcused absence, and then Rodgers came back and was like, no, it wasn't unexcused, like blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, like how do you already screw things up, right? So they're obviously not on the same page, and it's just like I just can't trust the Jets. Like the defense is great, the skill positions, I love Garrett Wilson, he's really, really good. Breece Hall, he had such a good year last year with Zach Wilson, but again, I just can't trust the Jets because, like you guys talked about, Aaron Rodgers is running the entire show. Aaron Rodgers is running the entire show so much that last year we saw Tim Boyle, who, if you don't know Tim Boyle, go look up Tim Boyle's college stats. It's some of the, like, you couldn't even try to be that bad in a video game. His college stats are that bad. He is so bad. There's no way he's an NFL player unless he's friends with Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers literally has so much influence on the franchise that he single-handedly got his friend to start at quarterback for the Jets when he wasn't starting at quarterback. So it's like, he's got so much pull for the Jets right now. And the Jets are in just such a weird position that I'm also with you guys. As far as division picks, I'm not picking the Jets. I don't trust the Jets as far as I could throw them, and I don't think I could throw an entire NFL franchise. So it is a very, very strange position that the Jets are in right now.
And it's funny. We were talking about all the things with the Jets and how much this is going to be a very good show to watch, a very good game to watch. All eyes are going to be on it. If you need it any more, intrigue. Do you guys know the name of the player that was tackling Aaron Rodgers when he tore his Achilles tendon?
I don't.
Let me
actually
tell
know.
you. His name is Leonard Floyd. Do you know who Leonard Floyd plays for?
He got signed with the Niners.
He got signed by the 49ers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So not
Crazy.
only are the Jets facing the 49ers with Aaron Rodgers testing out his Achilles tendon, they will also be going up against Leonard Floyd. The only thing that would have been greater is if this all had happened at home in MetLife.
Well, let's see if it's raining in San Francisco. Then we're gonna have problems because apparently Aaron Rodgers can't practice or play in the rain. So
yeah, I know. But yeah. So this was almost a full-on, like, everything repeat of week 1 last year. It was this close. If they had played in MetLife with Leonard Floyd, Aaron Rodgers, all these things, it would have been almost like deja vu going in there and seeing that. And I don't have any weather information right now for the game. It is too far out. However,
neither does anybody doing the weather.
If it is supposed to be raining,
No.
if it is supposed to be raining, it's going to blow my mind. I really wonder if it is raining and if he plays and it's raining, how many throws he actually does. What's the over-under? I want to hear you guys' over-under on how many pass attempts Aaron Rodgers has week 1.
Well, probably a lot because they're going to be losing. I mean, at least to me, like I think they're going to be losing that game, so he's going to have to drop back and throw a lot of passes. But to the Jets' credit, I another move that I like from them, they went and signed Tyrod Taylor as well. They went and got Tyrod Taylor, so they have a legitimate backup quarterback too. So if Aaron Rodgers does get banged up again, it's someone who is not like Zach Wilson, where it's just going to completely fall off a cliff. Tyrod Taylor is a professional quarterback, so he's at least going to be able to come in and be capable. But yeah, I don't know as far as week 1, it's going to be entertaining. That's all. It's going to be entertaining.
I think they're going to set him up to be safe. It's going to be a lot of short passes, screens, quick passes. Don't let anyone get near him. Let him get settled in. But I still don't expect to see him throw more than 25 times. I think they're going to go jumbo, big personnel, run the ball a lot, really just trying to ease him in. Accept the fact that they're away. They're going to be against the 49ers. Let's not put our franchise quarterback in a position to get absolutely rickrolled here.
Yeah, they're going to rivalries all like crazy.
Yeah, I expect this to be one of those protect the guy, let him get his throws in, run your script regardless of how it works, keep it close, short routes, intermediate routes, nothing crazy, a lot of screens, a lot of turn around, handing the ball off. A lot of, shotgun draws, things of that nature. I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers on the move very much this week. I really don't. I think that if he has to ad-lib, that's scary for me. I don't want to see that till we're 100% sure through some games that Achilles is 100% healed. And I think that, like we've all noticed through the schedule, no one's really expecting this week 1 to be a victory for them. No. But they're probably going to be 4-1 by week 5 anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, if they go in and win week 1, we might have to come in here and owe them an apology because, man, that would be an amazing week 1.
I don't know if
I will do no such thing.
I don't know if I can ever give an apology.
I probably won't either because, like Einstein said, you can't trust the Jets. So even if they do beat the Niners, I'm not gonna trust them after week 1. So it's gonna take so much for the Jets to regain my trust, and I already have trust issues. So it's gonna take a lot. So it's gonna take a lot for them to regain my trust. That is for sure. But we're all gonna be watching. It's gonna be entertaining in New York this year. It's the Big Apple. It's the media capital of the world, and they know exactly what they're doing. They got everybody talking about them. So it is going to be a very, very interesting year in New York. But that is going to do it for us today here at Between the Uprights. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below your thoughts. Are we tripping? What do y'all have as the biggest storyline going into the 2024 season? Let us know. And make sure you like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to us. And that is going to be it for us. Peace.